Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Oscar here again. So today's video is gonna be a little bit different. I was planning on making this video a while ago, but I was like struggling with some attachments still and struggling with my sensitivity every now and then. But I feel like I have almost every gun like down except for like maybe like 4 or 5 of them, which isn't that many if you think about it, considering we have what 48 ops now or 50 ops. 48 or 50 ops, I'm not sure. But this video is going to be just a video of me going through all of my operators and all of my attachments and what I prefer on them. And just as a disclaimer before the video starts, this is personal preference. Not all of these are going to make you like the best player out there. Like I'm Plat 3, I'm not even that good. But it's just personal preference, maybe something you can start off, and like if you feel like it's good, you can keep it. If not, you can change it. And also, before I get into the attachments, I want to go through my in-game settings, like playlist styles and sensitivity and audio and all of that stuff. And I'm gonna go through it real quick. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and let's get right into it. Okay, so for the first thing under gameplay, I do play on PS4, so just keep that in mind. It's not PC. I play on squad privacy is open to friends. This is pretty much just like simple stuff. Ping is on. Display game info is off just because I don't want that extra stuff blocking my screen. Psycho inside camera groups, that's on just because I like how that feels and it's like the way I like to play it as. So under interface preferences, the only thing I have off is the show teammate online ID. I used to have the show teammate online off like in year 3, but when I had that off, I did a bunch of accidental team killing and accidental team shooting. But the show teammate online ID is for me is off because when I play ranked, I usually play with a 5 stack, so I know who plays who most of the time. Like my friend Nolan, he usually plays Vigil, shout out to Nolan, and my friend Ivan usually plays Thermite, so shout out to Ivan for being that hard breacher we need. So for me, I have that off, and even if you do play casual most of the time or solo queue most of the time, you're not gonna memorize everyone's name on the first match you join. So if you have this off, it won't like make any difference to your playstyle. Like on callouts, like if you have a random that's playing Cav, you can just say Cav and instead of saying their name. So that's why I have that off, and also it's like too much on screen that shows information, so I don't want it on so I can hit my shots and not get blocked in like certain situations. And then for matchmaking preferences, I have hostage off, secure area, and bomb on. I know ranked is bomb only, but the reason I have secure area is just I turned it back on just for when I do play casual. I have a little bit of variety, however you say that. And for T-Hunt, all I have on is Terrace Hunt Classics just because it's a practice aim and I don't really want to practice playing objective. And every map I do have on just for... Oh, except these. I don't know why these are off. Let me turn those on. Now I have every map on. That's weird. Okay, audio. Spoken language English, menu and subtitles in language English, subtitles off, master volumes at 100, music volumes at 30, dialogues at 100. I'll play in hi-fi dynamic range. I hear some people saying night mode's better for footsteps, and Rogue9 made a really good video. I'll probably link it down in the description just so you guys can check that out. But I do like playing on hi-fi. Voice chat volume at 100 as well. So once we move on to video, I turn VSync off because it makes the game feel smoother, and VSync you only really use it in Terrorist Hunt. So if you're not playing Terrorist Hunt, it's gonna hinder your performance, so might as well turn it off. My brightness is at 60. And moving on to controls, we have look inversion disabled, vibration disabled, vertical sensitivity is 30, horizontal sensitivity is 85. I have a left stick dead zone of 8 and a right stick dead zone of 5. For sensitivity, before I move on any further, I want to explain a thing. Left stick dead zone and right stick dead zone is how much input you have to put in the controller so your character in-game or camera in-game actually moves. So the higher it is, the more input you have to put in, like the harder you have to push on your thumbsticks for it actually to move. So that's why I have them low, so I can make those small adjustments. Vertical sensitivity is at 30, just so I can control recoil better. And then console, there's not much that of that vertical play as there is on PC, so you don't need to swing up and down. But 30 just works perfectly for when I do make vertical gameplay because I love playing Buck, so vertical gameplay is like a must for me. And then horizontal sensitivity is 85, so I can make those flicks back and forth, especially when I'm playing Clash. I can do that 360 spin. Controller rotation is classic. I might change this. I think this is new. The update just came out today, but I might keep it. I think I'm just gonna keep it as classic because I like my sensitivity how it is. Aim assist is disabled. Aim assist is only for terrorist hunt, so I might as well disable it for when I'm practice terrorist hunt. I don't get that aim assist, so when I go into casuals or ranked, my aim feels good. Aim down sight sensitivity is 35. Gadget deployment is toggle, drone deployment advanced, and my controller layout is default. I do play on a Scuff Impact, but I don't have any paddles connected, just because I like playing Claw. But the reason I bought the Scuff Impact was for its bigger size, as my hands are pretty big, so I like the feel of it. So that's for sensitivity. Now let's get into the operator attachments. Alright, before we get into these, I want to get through them as fast as I can. So if I go too fast for you, maybe pause the video while I'm on the gun so you can see the attachments I have. Alright, so starting off with Sledge. For his M5 shotgun, I have the reflex sight and laser sight, and that's the same for all of those shotguns, so I'm gonna skip the others. For L85A2, I have the ACOG, compensator, and vertical grip. I don't use underbarrel that much. Laser sight, I don't use it that much, except on a few guns and mostly pistols, like shield operators. Alright, secondary pistol, I use muzzle brake, and then SMG11, I do use hollow, flash guider, and vertical grip. And then gadgets are personal preferences, but for me, I like getting the most out of Sledge, so I do use the frag grenade. Alright, moving on to Thatcher. Same attachments for the shotgun and same attachments for the L85. And for the AR-33, I run ACOG, flash hider, vertical grip. And again, muzzle brake on the pistol. And for him, I do change between breaching charge and claymore a lot, depending on what the team needs. Alright, for Ash. For her, I use always stuns. I never really use breaching charge just because her gadget does that already, and I don't need the extra ones. Both pistols I use muzzle brake, but I do use the 5.7 USG more. On the G3, I use ACOG, compensator, vertical grip. On the R4C, I use hollow, compensator, vertical grip as well. Okay, now moving on to the next one, we have Thermite. For Thermite, I use laser sight, reflex on the shotgun, which is what I use for most shotguns, if not all of the shotguns. Muzzle brake on both pistols, and then on the 5.56, I use ACOG, flash hider, vertical grip. And for him, I use claymores just so I can't get flanked while I'm making holes, and it's probably the best gadget for him. Alright, moving on to Twitch. I mostly rock the FAMAS, but my friend Ivan loves the 417, so I'll start off with that one. I use ACOG, muzzle, and vertical grip. On the DMRs, which are the single shot weapons, always use muzzle brake. There's no need to use any of the other things, because what muzzle brake does is it reduces the first shot accuracy of each bullet. So for DMR, you're always doing basically first shot. I know they're like follow-up shots, but it helps. For the P9, I use muzzle brake and nothing on the revolver. For the shotgun, I use reflex, vertical, laser. And for the FAMAS, I use ACOG, vertical, and a flash hider. And for his secondary gadget, I mostly use breaching charge, but once again, it all depends on the map and the playstyle you have with your teammates. Moving on to Montaigne. For him, I haven't been using the revolver as much. So the revolver, I do have laser sight just so I can get that hip fire accuracy. And then for the P9, I have muzzle and laser sight. And for him, since ranked is now bomb only, before I would like cycle between these, like secure would be stun and then bomb would be smoke. But now I mostly play smoke just so I can get those plants off and help my teammate out more as a support op, which is what I think Montaigne is. Glaz. For Glaz, muzzle brake on both handguns as well, just like always. And then on the DMR, I use reflex and muzzle. Again, muzzle because for the reason of it being a DMR, and for him, smokes because he's Glaz. Why wouldn't you take smokes on Glaz? Moving on to Fuse. For Fuse, I kind of use his shield a lot. So for the both of his guns, or one of the guns actually, I use Laser Sight just because it's the gun that I use the most for him. So the PMM with muzzle, and then the GS with muzzle as well. For the AK, I do have ACOG, compensator, and vertical. And for the shield, I have nothing. And for the LMG, I have ACOG, flash, and vertical grip as well. Alright. Moving on to the rest. For Blitz, again, muzzle on his P12, no attachments on the shield, and smokes over breaching charge. For IQ, muzzle on the pistol. For the LMG, I use ACOG, compensator, and vertical grip. For the AUG, I use ACOG and flash hider. And then for the commando, I use ACOG, flash hider, and vertical grip. Buck, my favorite operator of all time. I've experimented with this gun so much, but I feel like this is the best setup. So for the pistol, muzzle brake as well. For the DMR, muzzle brake, ACOG, and I do use laser sight on this just to help out with those hip fire shots with the DMR, just because they're a little wonky. And for the C8, I use ACOG and flash hider, no underbarrel, so I can make bigger holes with that gun. This is just the one that I use the most. Alright, moving on, we have Blackbeard, Scumbeard. We use muzzle brake on the pistol. Shout out to us being able to put muzzle brake on this now. For the marksman rifle, or the DMR, I use muzzle, ACOG, and vertical grip. And then for the MK17, I use angled, flash hider, and ACOG. I feel like his gun doesn't kick too much. I'm pretty decent at controlling it, so angled helps a lot just because when you have that shield on, it does reduce the ADS time. So I like having that ADS time up higher. Ying, one of the operators I've been using a lot lately. For the 612 shotgun, again, reflex laser, muzzle on the pistol, and for her, I do run ACOG, muzzle, and vertical grip. I feel like muzzle helps out the kick on that gun tremendously over any other muzzle, but then again, it is personal preference, so if you don't think that, then you can use whatever you feel comfortable with. For Jackal, I do use smoke grenades because he does have that shotgun, which is pretty good at soft destruction, so there's no reason for me to take the breaching charge. And for the shotgun, again, reflex laser, muzzle on the pistol. On his larger shotgun, again, reflex and laser. And for his PDW, I do use ACOG, compensator, and vertical. And I'm pretty sure I use the same thing on the C7. Yeah, ACOG, compensator, and vertical. Alright, moving on, the next operator is Hibana. The Bearing 9 still kicks a lot, but I feel like flash hider and hollow are the best attachments for it. It's what I use on it. And again, secondary gadget, whatever map you're playing or whatever playstyle you like to play. I like being a little bit more of a rusher, so I do use stun. Obviously after doing my hard breaching. The PT2 I use muzzle. The Supernova, again, reflex and laser. And then the Type 89 I use ACOG, muzzle brake, and vertical grip. Moving on to Capitao, another one of my favorite operators just because of his utility. I use muzzle on the pistol. On the light machine gun, I use ACOG, vertical, and flash hider. I went one too far back. And then on the Para, which is the gun I use the most, I use ACOG, flash hider, and vertical. So pretty much the same attachments for both of his primaries. Alright, and then the next operator is Zofia. On the LMG, I'm pretty sure I use ACOG and flash hider. Compensator. Okay, never mind. I take that back. ACOG and compensator and vertical grip for the LMG. And then for the AR, I use ACOG, flash hider, and vertical. And for this pistol, I do have the laser sight. It's one of those pistols that aren't shielders that I like running laser sight on it. Just because it's green and it's unique, so why not have it? And for her, again, just like Ash, she does have soft breaching as her gadget. So Claymore for the win. And then moving on, we have Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi primary gun is the DMR that I use the most. So again, ACOG muzzle. On the C75, I use no attachments, and on the SMG12, I use vertical and hollow. And on the Boss G, again, vertical and reflex. No laser sight on this gun just because it's a slug, so I do aim it more than I hip fire it. So that's the reason I don't have it on that gun. For Lion, we have muzzle on the P9, nothing on the revolver. we have vertical, laser, and reflex on the shotgun, ACOG, vertical, and muzzle on the 417, and then we have flash, ACOG, and vertical for the V308. Alright, we're almost done with the attackers. I know this is going to be a longer video than what I usually do since I do 7 minutes, but I'm trying to get these done as fast as possible so I don't waste your guys' time. So muzzle on both pistols, on the sausage, reflex, vertical, and reflex sight, I think it's called. Yeah, reflex, it's the sight for the Russian operators as well. So ACOG, muzzle, and vertical on the spear, and then ACOG flash hider on this 6P, and vertical as well. And this should be ACOG. I don't know why it's reflex. Sorry about that, guys. It should be ACOG. I think I was just doing like a rush, and that's the reason I didn't put it on there. Alright. Moving on, we have Nook, the newest attacking op. For her deagle, I use muzzle brake, but silencer I swipe it out every now and then I use her breaching charges just because she is supposed to have a claymore, but the claymore glitch and the shield glitch made Warden and her have a little bit different of secondary gadgets, so I don't want to get used to her having flashes and then once they roll out the claymore, me not be able to use them. So I do use muzzle or silencer on the deagle. It depends on how I want to play. If I want to play for fun, I use silencer. If I want to actually try hard, then I use muzzle. On the 612, laser sight and reflex. On the FMG, I use flash hider and the hollow sight that Mozzie has as well. Alright, moving on to Gridlock. I use her shoddy with reflex and laser. Muzzle on the handgun in case if you want to use that, and again because she has a shoddy, she's good at self-destruction, so I don't take the breach charge, I take the smoke. On the F90 I do flash hider, ACOG, and vertical, and I think on the M2 I use compensator. Yeah, I do use compensator, vertical, and then the scope, which should be ACOG. Alright, almost done with the attackers, guys. For Nomad, for her I mostly use the AK just because of that higher mag capacity, but no attachments on the .44 mag. I do use breaching charges on her the most. On the ARX I use ACOG and compensator, and then on the AK I use ACOG and flash hider. No reflex sight for any of those guns, and no grips because you can't equip a grip on it. For Maverick, for his DMR, ACOG and muzzle, and vertical grip, no angled grip on the DMR, my bad. For the assault rifle, I use flash hider, ACOG, and vertical, and then again muzzle brake on his pistol. And for his secondary gadget, I like running claymore. Every now and then I do stun, but it's rare that I do stuns. Okay, so that was it for the attackers, and now we're gonna get into the defenders. So let's get straight into the defenders right now. Okay, starting off with smoke on the defender side. The setup I use the most, I don't touch these two guns, the P22 and the FMG9 at all. But for their attachments, I do run hollow and reflex just like Nuke. Muzzle on the handgun. On the SMG11, just like Thatcher, or not Thatcher, Sledge, my bad. I do run vertical, hollow, and flash hider, and again, reflex and laser on the M5. And then barbed wire because I don't need the impacts when I have this shotgun since it's great for self-destruction. Moving on to Mute. Between his two primaries, I swap depending on what I want to play. If I want to play really strong anchor, then I do use the M5. Or even if I just need to do self-destruction, I use the M5. But same attachments again, reflex and laser. Same attachments on the machine pistol, which is vertical, hollow, and flash. Or then on the MP5K, I use flash, hollow, and for a secondary gadget, I always use nitro. Alright, moving on, we have Castle. For Castle and Pulse, I have the exact same attachments, so I'm gonna skip Pulse. Muzzle on both pistols, reflex and laser on the M10 Shakti, and then angled, compensator, and hollow for the UMP. So that's the same for Pulse. I'm gonna repeat that again, it's the same for Pulse, so I'm gonna skip over Pulse. Tachanka and Kapkan are pretty much the same. So I have vertical, reflex, and laser on the sausage, compensator, vertical, and reflex on the 9X, and muzzle for both pistols. And I'd use deployable shield for Tachanka and Nitro Cell for Kapkan. So I'm gonna skip over Kapkan because I run the exact same attachments as I do with Tachanka. So for Rook and Doc, again, same attachments. For the P90, I use the suppressor and the ACOG just to make it a meme 90. And then for the MP5, I use Flash Hider, Vertical, and ACOG. For the Shoddy, I use Vertical, Reflex, and Laser. P9 with Muzzle Brake and nothing on the Revolver and Impact on Rook. For Doc, once again, same attachments, except for his secondary gadget, I do run Barbed Wire. Alright, so moving on to Jaeger. For his Shoddy, I run Reflex and Laser, Muzzle on his pistol. And then for him, I run Vertical Grip, a Holographic, and Compensator. Moving on to Bandit. For Bandit, same attachments as Jaeger for his shotgun, which is Reflex and Laser. And for the MP7, I run Hollow and Flash Hider. Here it is if you guys want to see it. It's the Flash Hider. And Muzzle Brake on the handgun. And for him, I swap out every now and then between Barb and Nitro, depending on what my other teammates are running. Alright, moving on to Frost. For her, I have Muzzle Brake on the pistol, Reflex and Laser on the Shoddy, and then for the 9mm, all I have is Angled and Reflex. The reason I don't use the long barrel is because Rogue9, he made another video about long extended barrel, and then I'll link that in the description as well, so that's 2 videos linked in the description. And it explains that long barrel doesn't really do much in Siege, and it also sticks out like a sore thumb, so if you're peeking a door and then they'll see your long barrel before you even see them, so it's pretty much useless. I do see some people rock it though, so if you rock it, props to you. I'm not gonna, throw a fit about it. Alright, for Valkyrie, I have Muzzle on the Deagle, Laser and Reflex on the shotgun, and Vertical, Compensator, and Hollow for the MPX. Alright, we're almost done, guys. For Legion, I run Hollow and then Compensator for the SMG, for the shotgun, Reflex, and Laser, and Muzzle Brake on the pistol. Moving on, we have Mira. I think I run Hollow, Compensator, and Vertical on her. Yeah, Hollow, Compensator, and Vertical. Reflex and Laser on the shotgun. Always stick to secondary shotgun for the self-destruction. Don't even touch the pistol. And Nitro for her as well. So for Echo. Echo, I run Reflex, Laser on the shotgun, Muzzle on the pistol, Flash Hider and Hollow on the Bearing 9, and for the MP5SD, Vertical and ACOG, as you cannot put a muzzle brake on that gun, or any kind of muzzle, since it is silenced. For Kavira, I mostly run her spas, so for the spas I have Reflex and Laser. For the M12 I have Reflex and Silencer just because I rarely run it, and when I do run it it's just to joke around or meme around, so I have that silencer for it. And no laser sight on the Lucian as I don't want to give out my position. And for her, always run impacts. There's no need for you to have a camera as she is a roamer and it's better for her to have those impacts. Alright, Ela. Ela is one of those guns that I'm still getting used to using, as on console she has pretty bad recoil, as it is mostly horizontal. It's very unpredictable, but I do run Vertical, Hollow, and Compensator. It's what I've been using. Muzzle Brake on the gun, and then on the FO12 shotgun, long barrel, Vertical, and Reflex, and laser sight. So before I turn into a hypocrite, the reason I run long barrel on it is because it looks cooler and the suppressor is going to reduce the damage on a shotgun, so might as well have it with extended barrel, right? Like, it's not too bad. That's the only gun I use extended barrel on it, so cut me some slack. Alright, for Vigil, I mostly use his K1A, and for that I do run Vertical, Compensator, and Hollow, Vertical and Reflex on the Shoddy, Vertical and Hollow on the SMG-12, and nothing on the C7. Moving on, we have Maestro. On Maestro's Alda, I run ACOG, Vertical, and Muzzle Brake. Yes, Muzzle Brake. Just double checking. Oops, I back out one too many times. Right, for the Shoddy, I run Reflex, Laser, and Vertical Grip. For the Keratos, I run Muzzle, and then for the Bailiff, I run Laser Sight and Barbed Wire on him because the shield is disabled, so might as well use Barbed Wire. For Alibi, I run Hollow, Compensator Vertical, muzzle on the Keratos, and then laser on the Bailiff, and then again Reflex Laser and muzzle on the Shotty. And again, impacts on her. Alright, moving on to the new defender, which is Warden. On his MPX, I run the same attachments as I do with Valk, but I'll go over those once again. So Vertical, a Hollow, and Compensator. Reflex Laser on the shotgun. And I use his P10 more than the SMG-12 just because it looks really nice. And I like it. I like using it with Clash, so I liked using it with him. And then I run muzzle on that, but if you do want to use the SMG-12, again, I run hollow and vertical on him. And again, I run barbed wire because he is supposed to have a deployable shield, so that Nitrocell, I don't want, or the impact grenades, I don't want to get used to them. On Muzzy, I run vertical, flash, and hollow on the commando, and then on the P10 Roni, which is by far the most fun gun in the game, I run angled, compensator, and hollow. And then I use his shotty again for that soft destruction, and I do use laser sight on him, with Nitrocell being the secondary gadget. I'm sorry guys, I got hiccups. Alright, for Kaid, for his AUG, I run hollow, vertical, flash. For the Shotty, I run vertical ACOG laser, and then nothing on the pistol, and nitro on him, but I switch it out every now and then if I do need to make rotation holes and no one else is taking impacts. And last but not least, for Clash, the lady that's been banned for more than a month, I use muzzle on the P10, and I use, what's that, flash hider on the submachine gun. I haven't played her in so much that I forgot what that muzzle looked like. And then I run impacts on her most of the time, but I do switch out for barbed wire. And the reason I use the P10 more than the SMG is because it feels nicer on her, if that makes any sense. I don't know how to explain it, but it's what I like using on her. So that is all the defenders and all the attackers, all of the attachments, and also my sensitivity and all of my settings in game. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and again, I am going to link down those 2 videos that I talked to before in the description, so I hope you guys check them out because Rogue9 is a great content creator for Siege, and he does so much in-depth stuff with statistics and everything, and it's so interesting to watch. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and once again, just remember that this is all personal preference, so if you see me running some attachments that you don't run or that, don't go and change them if you feel comfortable with what you're using. And same for sensitivity. Don't copy me if you know that you can't control like higher sensitivity and all of that stuff. But if you do want to copy me, then go ahead. Just one tip that I have is that if you feel that it's too high, go down by increments of 2, whether it's vertical or horizontal, and then that would help you find a balance better than going down randomly. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss an upload, because I am thinking of changing my upload schedule from Tuesday to Thursday to Monday and Friday, as it gives me more time in between my videos to get them out sooner and not have to lag, and for them not to be that short and uncreative. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.